Korean War, when the medical service corps was brand new, I was in graduate school in chemistry, and the draft board said, since you're a graduate assistant teacher, we have changed your classification from student deferred to teacher 1A. So, would you report for physical? So I went down to the ROTC office at Purdue, and there was an ad there from the new Medical Service Corps, and they were offering direct commissions. So I applied, and I got a letter back that said, "Dear Second Lieutenant." So my career started out as a volunteer reserve officer, got my commission, direct commission, and the specialty they gave me was medical supply officer, and in those days we called them box kickers, not log dogs. My start, the brand new medical service corps was mostly staffed in the beginning by officers from the Army who transferred. In 51, they were still trying to fill up all their ranks, so they offered direct commissions, and they were so bad in Korea, they needed people fast in Korea. So in my orders to active duty, it also had me on orders to go to the departure in California, Camp Stollen, and off to the Korean theater, all in one. No health service administration orientation, no military training, no nothing. They just said, you report to California after you get a uniform, and we'll go from there. I was involved in earlier parts of the Air Force conflicts, and some of them weren't when the Korean War was still going on, and I was sent to the Far East, headed for Korea, but when I got to Japan, the surgeon's office there stopped all the medics and interviewed them and said it wouldn't be fair to Korea or to you to send you there with no experience. So I was sent to a large Air Force backup hospital in Japan as a medical supply officer, and that's where I started out and learned how I liked medical administration. And while there, then I went ahead and applied for the other career field, administration, and not medical supply. But when I shipped back to the States, I was still carrying the medical supply. We call them specialty codes then. So I was sent to Ellsworth in Rapid City, South Dakota, and as a medical supply officer to clean up an account that was really in bad shape and was almost ready to be closed and audited by the Strategic Air Command. And so I went to work there and was able to get that squared away. And then by that time, my transfer to the administrative field came through, and then it just went on from there. So anyway, when I became Corps Chief, the Vietnamese War had just ended, and I had been assigned to PACAF and visited Vietnam several times. But anyway, the money was tight. People wanted to draw down after the Vietnam War was ended, and so you had to fight for resources and money, and that was the environment that I entered when I became Corps Chief, and so that's how it started out. I was in the Corps Chief job from 75 to 79, and that was some very interesting years. I think that, thinking back, the thing that helped the most was to be cooperative, always friendly, and sort of be available, persistent. It was, I think, mostly to knowledge of, but try to be helpful to everybody that you work with. Not really. It's still a matter of being helpful and cooperative. You know, in the beginning, the court chief was primarily a personnel job. You had to make sure that everybody in the court had what they needed to be successful, and they were placed in the right jobs. And until I was able to get some reorganization in the Surgeon General's office approved, so that the court chief had some operational responsibility. And I was able to accomplish that. So then, after that, the court chief had some responsibility for operations like they do now, in addition to being court chief. And that was a very helpful thing, I think, to get that accomplished in addition to the regular court chief's jobs. Well, I'll just summarize quickly. I made a thesis for the American College of Healthcare Executives out of it and got my fellowship from it, but basically there was too many divisions under one director's control in the Surgeon General's office, and the area of responsibility was spread really too thin for the director of that for the chief of that one directorate. And so I was able to convince the Surgeon General and the staff that if we took 3 of those divisions, and that was logistics and not financial, they wanted to keep that in that other directorate headed up by medical corps. And so it was logistics and construction and the biomedical data operation, and split those into a new directorate called healthcare support. And so it was a matter of dividing up responsibilities in the Surgeon General's office, and the chief administrator really, I convinced him, was the most logical person to direct those directorates, those divisions, and they agreed. Well, I suppose everybody likes to brag, but I'm trying not to. I think the key for me was to be helpful and make sure that the members of the Corps were placed in the right career field and in the right position and job, and also to make sure that we had educational programs like not only graduate schools but training with industry, or I guess they call it education with industry or something like that now. And that we had a certain quota for officers at Command and Staff College and at the War College, and things like that. In other words, be sure that all the opportunities that our MSCs needed or wanted were available, and also then to get the finances to fund those programs. Well, that's a tough question, as you probably know already. But anyway, what I tried to do is not in a harsh way, but to point out that they might have been in the wrong position. And so I would try to get a different job for them that would meet their abilities, and try to find an assignment that was both successful for them with the talents they had, and would also contribute to what the bosses there wanted. So my philosophy was to try to put the right person in the right job. The development guidance was mostly a personal personal one-on-one thing, and I would usually discuss it with the officer or his boss and make sure that it wasn't a situation where they were being fired. It was a situation where they had a new opportunity. I would usually tell the people when I had a chance to not just know what the regulation said, but to don't be afraid to make suggestions, and new ideas were always welcome, and certainly not discourage any new practices that I didn't agree with. Just if you have a new idea, let's test it and we'll see, and then I'll do what I can to get it approved. So anyway, it's a support and encouragement. Don't be afraid to explore new ways of doing things. I really wanted to make it a place that was a fun opportunity and a fun place to have a career. Wanted to make sure that I left a part of the Air Force that was unique and fun. And there was nothing, there was every opportunity that anyone wanted there. And that's what I tried to do, is leave an environment like that. Well, I think the same advice is learn what problems are facing the Air Force and the medical service, and then try to understand the other corps or the other people who want resources for their programs, and then go in and present the positive parts of what the medical service corps needs and your contribution to the administration, whether it be in a commander's role or administrator or whatever, and that the resources are needed for that which really makes the whole thing operate. So make a positive argument for the need for the programs that the Medical Service Corps is responsible for, or the administrative side of the medical service. And think of yourselves as part of the medical service, and learn the problems of the other corps, like the medical corps and the nurse corps, as you pointed out, and everybody else. So be part of the team. But I would say be flexible. Don't turn down any opportunity that may come up. Be ready. Be prepared. And like I told you earlier, I never had a bad assignment. And pretty soon, when you are accomplishing things, you'll be noticed and asked to do more and different things. And it worked for me, and I think it worked for anyone, really. Being cooperative. I think the Surgeon General, when I was selected as Corps Chief, wanted someone who would be